Okay, so we've all heard of Bitcoin, right? It's everywhere. But what was it actually supposed to be? To really get to the bottom of that, we have to ignore all the hype, all the noise, and go right back to the very beginning, to the original vision of its mysterious creator. And that, of course, brings us to the first question everyone always asks. Who is Satoshi Nakamoto? And yeah, it's a fascinating mystery for sure, but I think there's a much more important question we should be asking. It's not who he was, but why he created Bitcoin in the first place. Exactly. See, Bitcoin wasn't just some cool tech experiment somebody cooked up in their basement. No, it was a direct answer to a massive, fundamental flaw that Satoshi saw right at the heart of our entire financial system. And that problem? Well, it all boils down to a single word: trust. More specifically, the fact that we are all forced to trust our financial institutions. And you don't have to take my word for it. Satoshi laid it out himself, crystal clear. He said the root problem is that our whole system relies on trust. We have to trust the central bank not to just print money and make our savings worthless. But, as he points out, if you look at history, that trust has been broken over and over and over again. Now, this headline isn't just a random image. Satoshi embedded this exact text into the very first block of Bitcoin ever mined, the Genesis block. Think about that. It's a permanent, unchangeable timestamp, forever linking his invention to the failures of the banking system during the 2008 financial crisis. It's basically a mission statement. And this system of forced trust, well, it comes with hidden costs. You could call it a trust tax. You've got banks lending out money they don't actually have. Their overhead is so huge that making tiny payments, micropayments, is basically impossible. And maybe the biggest issue, any system with one person or company in charge can just be shut down by a government. We have to hand over our money, our privacy, and our data, and just hope for the best. So faced with that whole mess, Satoshi came up with a pretty radical solution. A completely different way of thinking about what digital money could be. This right here, this is the title from his original white paper. It sounds technical, but it's actually beautiful in its simplicity. Peer-to-peer. That just means person to person. No bank, no credit card company, no middleman. Just a direct way to send money from me to you, without asking anyone for permission. And here's the genius part. How do you do it? Simple. You replace trust in people with trust in math. Cryptographic proof is just a fancy way of saying the system's rules are enforced by code, not by company policies or government whims. It replaces promises with mathematical proof. The difference is just night and day when you see it like this. We go from the old way, where everything has to pass through a central hub like a bank, to a new way, a decentralized network where everyone is connected directly. There is no center. Okay, that's the big picture. But how does it actually work under the hood? How do you really build a system that runs on proof instead of promises? Well, it's built on 4 absolutely crucial ideas. First, that decentralized network, no single server to shut down. Second, a public ledger. You've probably heard of it, the blockchain, where every single transaction is recorded for everyone to see. Third, a really clever invention called proof of work, which is what actually secures the network and makes it nearly impossible to cheat. And finally, a finite supply. That's a big one. You know, people always criticize Bitcoin for how much energy it uses, but Satoshi saw this coming. He compared it to gold mining. Yeah, digging gold out of the ground uses a ton of energy, and you could call that a waste. But that work is what makes gold valuable and scarce. In the same way, Satoshi argued that the energy spent mining Bitcoin isn't waste. It's the cost of having a secure and truly independent form of money. And this number is at the heart of the whole thing. 21 million. That's it. That is the total number of Bitcoin that can ever be created. It's written into the code. So unlike national currencies that can be printed endlessly, Bitcoin's monetary policy is predictable and set in stone. It's designed to be scarce, kind of like a digital gold. So Satoshi creates this revolutionary system, gives it to the world for free, and then he does something even more amazing. He walks away. I mean, just look at how fast this all happened. He drops the white paper in late 2008. The network goes live in early 2009. He collaborates with other developers for a little while, and by the end of 2010, he's just gone, a ghost. And the incredible irony here is that right at the moment he was fading away, his creation was just starting to get its first real, tangible value in the world. He quietly walked away from what would eventually become a multi-trillion-dollar idea. This was one of his last known communications, and it really tells you everything. He didn't want to be a leader. He didn't want to be a shadowy figurehead. He wanted people to focus on the project itself, on the community building it. His disappearance was the ultimate act of decentralization. He made sure the system truly had no leader. And so that brings us to today. Satoshi's vision was for a peer-to-peer electronic cash system built on proof, not trust. The question we really have to ask ourselves now is the massive crypto world that's been built since he left. How well does it actually live up to that original, powerful vision?